Hi, everyone. Welcome to xAPI cohort. This is the third week. We're diving into project ideas and team overviews. But before we get started, I just have a few things to go over with you. And as soon as my PowerPoint changes, there we go. So, what is xAPI cohort for those of you who may be new? You can see what it is. It's free, it's peer-to-peer, it's vendor neutral, and we have a couple of different things that we do. We have project teams, we meet in Slack and AirMeet, and converse in there. And then we have these weekly web sessions where we dive into a piece of the xAPI pie and talk about different things so that you can experience how people have used xAPI. We do record everything, and there is always a weekly email that lets you know about what's going on in the cohort. So we've got 3 modes in cohort: project mode, observer mode, and listening mode, whichever way you feel comfortable. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about projects. We have a couple of program partners who are going to talk about some projects that they're going to have during the cohort. But that doesn't mean you can't do your own. I mean, you do your own project, because that's part of the beauty of cohort. It's very, very flexible. If you want to just observe and kind of look in Slack, watch recordings, maybe attend a session, go ahead, because it's all about your learning and what you want to do. And then, of course, if you just want to kind of be on the sidelines and just listen in, please do that. Now, we want you to make sure that you get what you can out of cohort. So, questions about xAPI, about statements, software, so forth, you post your question in the hashtag main in Slack. If you've got questions about how emails or dates or report an issue, you get in contact with me, Karen Gleason, and I'm in Slack, but you can also email me at my guild email right there. So, Learning and HR Tech Solutions, April 23rd to 25th. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about in xAPI, lots of stuff there with Chad Udell and with Nicola Masterilli. And if you see some of the previous cohort sessions from previous xAPIs cohorts, you will see both of those gentlemen. And then, of course, now DevLearn is open, call for proposals. So please, if you want to speak, go ahead and fill that out. And just know that our program team is here to help you with your submissions as well. If you're not a member of the guild, become a member of the guild. And I'm going to drop links for all of those things after I get done talking. Now, this for today, these are our program partners. So these are teams that have formed, usually with a lot of experience in xAPI. We have, although what we have here is our first cohort spawned program team called the xAPI Beginner. This is 2 ladies who were in xAPI cohort, who developed things during cohort, found out about it, total newbies, and they are sharing what they learned and taking you through what they did, but more on that later. Then we have Veracity and a bunch of other people on that team talking about measurement, and Torrance Learning, the original xAPI cohort runner, Learning Dojo, and Build Capable. And we're going to hear from all of them. Now, the Slack workspace, I am running out of time, but really, really quick. In Slack, we have all these teams available to you. And later today, I will post in hashtag main those teams. If you have any questions, there are some discussion Slack channels in there to post any kind of discussion questions, or maybe ask any questions in hashtag main as well. And post things about your project in hashtag main. And that's exactly what we want you to do. If you've got a project in mind, you go to channels, you create the channel, you put a description of your team in hashtag main, and please always put team in front of your team name. And to see those channels, you'll go to browse channels under that channel, and you will sort by the newest channel, because this is a Slack workspace that's been around for years and has all kinds of things that have been archived. The newest channels will be the ones that have been formed during this cohort. And then lastly, Lounge and Air Meet, we have that available to you so that you can meet. And then recordings are in the view schedule. Scroll down to what you want to see and watch the replay. And that's it for me. I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to hear from Cecilia Fernandez, who is on the beginner team. So I'm going to turn things over to Cecilia, and go ahead, Cecilia.
Hi. I had to laugh a few minutes ago when you said that we're all experts. I'm not an expert. Uh, we started with Larissa this team on the last cohort from scratch. Um, uh, so we have just a few months of work with xAPI. Um, and we're very happy. Larissa could not be here today online, but she's connected all the time on Slack. Um, we're very happy that we have such a nice group to work. When we started this cohort, we didn't know we were going to find. And we have a really nice group. There is a lot of discussion. There have been questions. We started with an order, with a schedule that follow what we did last semester, and now we realize that we have to change that for this new group. So just go to our Slack team. We are posting a lot of resources. We're answering all questions that we have with our experience. Um, we are going to be posting new material this week that comes from questions that we have received, and we are just helping each other. This is a complex thing to learn, so for any beginner out there, my advice is take your time, go slow, use the resources, and pace yourself. Um, and we're here to help. So go to the Slack, and we're gonna be there.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you so much, Cecilia. I've posted their team hashtag in there. So if you're an absolute beginner, a newbie, they have created some really nice content for you to go through so that you can pick up some very basic information about xAPI. And I think it was wonderful for them to do this for all of us. So that's great. I'm going to now turn it over to Jason Haig. And Jason represents Veracity, but there's a number of people on his team. So, Jason, when you're ready, go ahead and start talking about your team. If you'd like to share something, please go ahead.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Karen. Can you all see the PDF that I shared, or do I need to share my
Yes.
screen?
Nope.
Okay,
We
that's
see it.
cool. I don't think I've tried to do that before. Usually I have to try to share the PDF on my screen. I didn't know you could upload it and you automatically see it. Okay, I see the little navigation buttons there. Okay, great. Yeah, so thanks, Karen. Our group is focused on aligning key performance indicators, the stuff you want to measure more strategically with your xAPI data collection requirements, your reporting, and your analytics. And so we're really focused on the big picture here and tying your evaluation strategy, whether you're trying to evaluate effectiveness or business impact, or simply just utilization, and then aligning your evaluation strategy with your xAPI data that's collected. So our Slack channel hashtag is displayed here on our slides. But at the end of these slides, I'll discuss how you can sign up for our meetings, the frequency of the meetings, and so forth. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about how we formed this group and why we formed this group. So last year, I worked with Meg Fairchild and Megan Torrance of Torrance Learning on the first research report on the state of data and analytics in L&D. This is a great research report, by the way, and it's available at this URL on the lower bottom there. It's not the latest report from the guild, so you might have to scroll down a little bit to find it, or just use the search feature within the guild's website interface. This research report was focused on what types of things were people measuring, what types of analytics were they doing, the data formats, the most popular data formats, the most popular data sources, usage, and then also barriers to implementation. So in a nutshell, this report reinforced what many of us in our industry have been observing, which is even with all the big data capabilities we have at our fingertips now, with the advent of xAPI, people are still doing often very little in the way of meaningful analytics. And based on the results of the survey, a majority of our peers are simply reporting on, a lot of them are still reporting on LMS completions, course completion scores, and are often stuck in, what the LMS provides. So, why is this? And that's really what the question on barriers to implementation revealed in that report. There's lots of possible barriers to implementing analytics, but the largest response that we saw at 65% was a lack of a defined measurement strategy. Wah, wah, wah. So how do we fix this? We notice I didn't say, can this be fixed? I really think the barrier definitely can be fixed. It's going to take some work and collaboration and motivation, and thinking about a measurement strategy first before you even start thinking about how to send the xAPI statement to an LRS is a good start. I think it's going to require thinking about KPIs and turning those into data points. So what are KPIs? These are measures of performance over time they're really designed toward a specific milestone or objective, and they have multiple benefits. So not only do they help you think more deeply and carefully about what data you're going to strategically collect, but they can also help you to align what data is captured in your L&D products and align those with larger business goals. Oops. Want to have one slide here. And so last year we formed a really small cohort group late in the year, but we didn't really advertise it a whole lot on the weekly meetings. We did post some of the meeting notes and recordings in Slack, but we wanted to really keep our heads down and try to lay the groundwork for this effort. It started with Becky Goldberg, myself, Meg Fairchild-Zolt, Ola, and Amy Parent. And we also recently added Andy Johnson, Megan Torrance, and Chris Tompkins to the team. So we're extending the invite to you all here as well. And let me give you a little bit more about what we're going to be doing. So what are we going to be doing this spring? We're going to start with how you can start with a measurement strategy and define your goals and your KPIs, discuss how to construct smart KPIs and measures of efficiency and effectiveness, how to align those with business impact and existing evaluation models out there, such as Kirkpatrick, LTIM, TDRP, which is also now an ISO standard. And then there's a way to easily connect that to xAPI data with that kind of framing. We developed a kind of a template for thinking more carefully through those things and aligning it with xAPI strategy. And this helps reinforce the need to be intentional from the very beginning and not reactive, which is what we often see in the industry. We create some learning content, we generate the data, we don't know what the data looks like, and we go and look at it, and it's not what we expected. So thinking about and crafting what the data is going to look like in advance and aligning those to your measurement strategy, what this team's all about. We're also going to be looking at and learning about xAPI, this general statement model. What all can you plug in and store in there? Look at how we can leverage existing xAPI profiles and generate some sample data sets based on those measures. I did that on a project some last phase. We'll also kind of leverage that and look at some of those data sets. We'll discuss and collaborate on also a lot of other related topics. There's a wealth of knowledge and expertise on our team here. We've touched on things like different visualization techniques, analytics, grouping the data literacy. There's just all kinds of wonderful discussion going on. So last phase, we also, I'm not going to click on this link here, but there's a link down there at the bottom, the bit.ly link. That is a measures library, so to speak. We started where we did define some common efficiency and effectiveness measures and then link those to existing xAPI statement templates that anyone could leverage. So some other general goals we'd like to do is continue with that work, build out that library if necessary, or just polish what's there. And then also identify anyone on the team that's going to join us if they have an existing project where they'd like to apply these measures and xAPI statements we've been working on. And then, of course, at the end of the project, share this out with the community and find a final home for it to sit at. So how can you all get involved? Our meeting actually starts first one tomorrow. This is our first announcement. We'll be running weeks 3 through 12. We're going to meet weekly on Fridays at 10 to 11 Eastern. And we'll be using Google Meet. We'd love to have anyone with experience with evaluation frameworks, models, and so forth. However, that is not required. Lurkers are welcome. If you'd like to join the meeting and get this added to your calendar, you can send an email to me, jason.haig@veracity.it, or just simply message us on the Slack channel, and I'll add you to the invite that starts tomorrow. And again, our Slack channel is hashtag team-kpi-measurement-spring-2024. Should be able to find it pretty easily there. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much, Jason. And I'm going to turn things over to Megan Torrance.
Fantastic.
Jason, can you stop
Jason's
sharing? Thank you.
Cool. So let's get this party started. Okay. And just so everybody is aware, I'm supposed to warn folks, I've had my customary 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time coffee, which gets me set up for cohort. So this project, Team Test Your LMS, is really about some of the nuts and bolts of implementation with xAPI. One of the questions that I get all the time, and my co-leads, Meg and Fairchild, who's also on the project you just talked about, and Matt Cleaver, and both of them are in the chat today. One of the questions we get all the time is, yeah, but can I do this with my LMS? The other question I get is, my LMS said they do xAPI, but how come it doesn't do all the things you guys talk about at cohort? So that's really what this project is all about. One of the really, really foundational contributions to learning designers using xAPI that came out of the xAPI cohort was a number of years ago when a team, and Sean Putman was on that team, and I think he'll be joining us in a bit, went through all of the major course authoring platforms and tested what do they do with xAPI. And they all built exactly the same course, sent the data, and then looked at what do I get out of this course just natively with xAPI. And then they published an article in Learning Solutions Magazine, which is the online magazine of the Learning Guild. So fantastic foundational work and something that my own team referenced on a regular basis. And then they updated it a couple of years later when the application's updated. We want to do the same thing here, but for learning management systems. So our goal is going to be to get a number of learning management systems and test them and see how they use xAPI. So if you don't want to join the team, you can just go to this webpage and do it yourself and have at it. If you want to join the team and work with the group through, and then we can create a side-by-side analysis for others, right? Our goal here is to help you learn which LMSs might provide the support you're looking for xAPI and CMI5. Imagine if you are somewhere or yourself in the future evaluating a new LMS. That's a great place to start. You can also learn, right, given the LMS I have, what can I expect when they say it does xAPI? So that's what we're going to do. You're going to use a storyline course that we have already built and your own LMS. and a test case that we've got and see what data you get. We'll be around to answer questions, and we're going to facilitate and host the kickoff and help you do any troubleshooting that you might have. Ideally, you already have or can bring along someone who does have LMS administration and reporting access, because that will be helpful to get the test course in. So, which LMSs? So far, this team has already been starting. So far, we've got someone who's on Litmos, Saba, LearnShare, Absorb, and Learnupon. We would love to hear from Cornerstone users and Docebo users, as well as anybody else. So if you've got an LMS and you want to see what it does with xAPI, we would love to add to this, because the more variety and the more testers that we have, the better our data and the better our gift back to the industry is going to be. Here's what you can expect. Most of this work will be done asynchronously. So if you're the kind of person who's like, man, I don't have time for meetings, or man, I don't have time to watch recorded meetings, this might be the project for you. So you'll do some asynchronous work, you'll participate in writing an article, and we'll even put your name on the article if you'd like. Some skills that you need. It would be helpful if you know how to load courses into your LMS, because we can't do that for you because we won't have access to your LMS. Even better if you have a sandbox environment of your LMS, so you're not messing with your actual data. It would be also really helpful if you know how to use your LMS's reporting tools. Now, if this is an area that you want to build your skills in, this is a fantastic time to do this. Or if you want to make best friends with your own LMS administrator, also great time to do this. We are not going to provide the LMS for you. We'll provide everything else, just not the LMS. This project requires no course design or development. Does not require any programming. You do not need to know how or where any of the colons and brackets in JavaScript go. We will not be writing statements, and you will not use any profiles, because all of that is already done, packaged up for you, ready to load in your LMS. So we'll be having on the 20th, which is next Tuesday, we'll be having a kickoff meeting. We'll also be recording that meeting and putting the recording in the Slack channel if you want to come back to it later and you can't join us. And then we'll spend a number of weeks doing asynchronous LMS testing, communicating, recording our results. So we've got a way of recording the results. And then we'll be on weeks 9 through 12 reviewing our findings, writing our summary, and hopefully getting something out and into the world, basically. So at this point, you may have some questions about how to get started, whether this is a project for you, who are these crazy people who are doing this, and why does this lady drink so much caffeine? This is Teddy. Teddy is one of the Torrance Learning Team pets, who's very chatty today. And so if you've got questions like Teddy, you can join us in the Slack channel, and I will see you online or asynchronous and around. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Megan. Thanks for that. And so now we've learned all about that. Now we're going to turn it over to Jeff Batt. So go ahead, Jeff.
Awesome. Thank you. So my name is Jeff Batt with Learning Dojo, and my channel, Team Spring 2024 with Learning Dojo, which may be renamed. The project I'm going to be working on really has been an idea that I've had for quite a while. Before I got into this industry, I actually started out in video and doing like wedding videos and just creating my own stupid little videos as well. And so the idea of creating an interactive video has always appealed to me, and really from scratch, how can I interact with this and how can I make this video a lot more engaging? And so when I was thinking about this project, the creating an interactive video with xAPI and getting all the data from that interactive video is really kind of where I landed on with this project. And so the project itself is going to be working through making an interactive video. We will be using Storyline, and I will be going from the beginning of taking the video, kind of splitting it up and organizing it. So there will be a little bit of development in Storyline, But then we'll start to strategize on, okay, how can we then get the data that we want out of this interactive video? At what points do we want the video? We will be following the xAPI video profile. And so we'll be implementing where to send those different statements, how you would actually implement it, and then put that inside a storyline. So the real key is going through and, okay, we know xAPI, we know storyline can handle some xAPI. How do I actually start to implement it with this interactive video? And then we'll start to create reports that make sense, that allow us to get the data of how the learners responded to the interactive video, and then what types of questions did they answer? How can we create custom dashboards that we can share out with stakeholders as well? So anybody can go in and review that type of data at any point. So that's the idea. I haven't really figured out if this is going to be like a weekly meeting. I think we'll probably just meet when necessary, but I'm thinking of just creating videos and sharing them on the Slack channel of kind of my progression and thoughts, and get your thoughts on the Slack channel as well. So if you're interested in creating this from scratch and creating this interactive video with even like a possible different choices that the learner can respond to in the video, then you can join that channel as well. So if you have any other questions, feel free to join the channel, just ask questions, or if you just want to get access to the channel and watch the videos later as well, either way works. So yeah, that's all I have.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff. And last, we have Sean Putnam, who's going to talk to us about Build Capable. Do you have anything to share with us? Or are you just going, I mean, like a PowerPoint or something, or are you going to just talk?
I'll throw up on the screen here real quick. Let me see real quick here. So I'll get started talking while that's coming up. But basically what we've got the opportunity for you guys here is to learn how to set up a learning record store and send your first xAPI statements on your own time. So this is going to be more of that independent study type of situation where we're going to give you kind of a step-by-step guide through setting up HTML and JavaScript to send a really simple xAPI statement.
I'm not sure what happened. I think Sean disappeared there for a second. I'm not seeing him. So hold on. Yeah, it looks like Sean has dropped off. He'll be on in just a minute, I'm sure. There we go. Sean,
I'm
welcome
back.
back.
Sorry.
There we go.
Okay.
No worries.
I am not going to share my screen because evidently that's not working out well. So anyway, what I was saying. So we're going to give you the opportunity to create your first statements in a very easy way through HTML and JavaScript. Now, again, I can already hear but I don't know how to code. Neither do I. Anyone that I've worked with on these before can attest to the fact that I am not a coder. I can hack things together reasonably well, but I am by no means a coder. So we're going to give you a RISE course that walks you through step-by-step how to set up these first statements, how to set your LRS, and how to send them. So in the Slack channel, Sarah and I from Build Capable are going to be monitoring that, answering your questions. Give us a little time if we don't get back to you on the same day, but we're both going to monitor this channel and give you really the chance to work on your own if you're not ready to join a team yet, or just want to learn a little bit more before you do kind of dive into these. So really the ideal people are someone who wants to work independently, set up your LRS, send some statements, and just sort of, get a little bit of that knowledge of how does this work? How exactly do I send these things, and what do they look like when they get there? So lots of great options for you to set up your LRS. A couple of the people on here that I've seen have some nice, some free options there that you guys can use, and all the tools that we'll suggest to you that you use for this are free of cost. So really no barrier to stepping in and doing this. And like I said, we'll be in there to answer questions And yeah, looking forward to working with whoever decides to take this on.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm going to, if it will let me, post your team name in here with the hashtag. It won't let me put the hashtag. That's okay. Something strange is going on. Anyways, there you go. That is Team Build Capable. So this was our group here. These were our program partners. So I'm just going to show you really quick. Let's not put that up there. Let's show them right now. And quite honestly, they are all going to help you learn some things about xAPI. Now, if you have any questions, they're in the audience. I know there's so many. I want to join all of them and do all of them, but I think the guilds wouldn't like that because, you know, I have to work. So I know everyone wants to join some of these. So if you have any questions about any of the particular projects, you have something, I'm going to be looking in chat to see if anyone has any questions. And you can ask questions, and hopefully the people here will be able to show you. So, or answer your questions. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone? I'm going to wait and see here if there is any questions, or if anyone on the panel would like to add anything more. And like I said, so if you want to, anyone on the panel, just go ahead, turn your camera on, turn your mic on and say, hey, I also want to say, because this is all of what cohort is. It's all about us learning from each other, all of us taking time to say this and that and the other, and learning a little more about xAPI, a lot of peer learning, a lot of how do we do this? So, and a lot of the people here who are running these program partners, who are program partners, with the exception of the xAPI beginners, have been doing xAPI for quite a while. And so they're going to help you figure out things. So that's good. But I don't want to stop you from creating your own project. So for example, if you want to do something else, you've got something in mind, please do it, because I bet you there's someone else who would love to join you. So you can start your own project. You don't have to join any one of these. And in fact, if you give me just 1 second, I will go over here to Slack itself. And let's just go to home. All right. So for example, in Slack itself, once I stop, I'm going to show you the teams here that we currently have. Looks
And
like
even Karen, I wonder, so you've got
Go
some
ahead.
of them on Slack or in the chat. You've got other team folks here. So maybe if you wanted to, this cohort, by the way, just pointing it out, is ahead of the game that with compared to regular or other cohorts in the past. So you've already got folks doing stuff. So you may have folks who have team updates this week. So if they wanted to add those in the chat, because I know they're not backstage with you right now, but go for
Right.
it.
If there are, exactly. If there are people here from the other projects, great point, Megan. Thank you for bringing that up. If you want to say, hey, we formed, we're doing this, join my channel. We'd love to hear that. So as you can see on the screen there, if you want to, you can make it full screen by hovering up near the right-hand corner of this particular view screen, and you'll see the full screen little arrows. Go ahead and you can see the teams here. There, as you can see, we've got Team Spring 2024 Browser Extension Record, Team Frobel, Team Healthcare Epic, Team KPI Measurement, which is Jason Haig's team, and Team Learning Engineering, Team Novice Coders, and so forth and so on, all the way down to Team xAPI Beginner. So lots of teams. And again, to find them, you go up to channels, and you go up to channels, and you can go to browse the channels, and then go to the newest channels. And then you will see all the newest channels here. And just, you know, if you want to, you can go, all right, well, what's this one about? I'm going to go there. Okay. And by going to that over here, you'll see now I will have linked into there, and this is what they're doing. And they'll be talking about it, and you can kind of go through and go, yeah, I think I want to join that. So then you can join that channel. Anyways, anyone have any questions? I'm looking through the chat. Oh, there were several other project teams forms. Are they still live? Yeah, they should be. And many a time people will form a project. Make sure you form your project, put the team, #team in front of your project name, then go into the #main Slack channel, tell people, here's my project, here's what I'm going to do, come join me. And that's how people find out about them. You can certainly browse up, like I showed you with the channels, but it's more effective to have people join your team if you put some information in that #main. Anyone else? So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. All right.
Just wanted to say, Karen, if you
Please.
have an idea of something that you do want to run with, there is nothing like this cohort to keep you moving forward, because you know you have every Thursday that you have to come in and give an update. Back in the first cohorts, that was a lot of companies joining and sort of giving those updates on Thursday. That's where I started, and I mean, it really keeps you honest and keeps you moving forward. So definitely lots of help here. Lots of accountability. So if you have an idea, jump on it and bring it here.
Oh, thanks so much for that, Sean. Yes. And so I will be popping into your teams and asking you to do an update, because going forward in our next, up until week 11, we will have team updates. We'll have a little bit of question, what is your team up to? What do you need? Are you stuck? Do you need something? What, anything to do with your team? We're working on this. Then people may join your team after hearing your team update too. So, okay, so I was just looking at a question here and I'll answer that. It's more of a guild question. Anyone else? All right. Well, I know we're going to end a few minutes early, but I think that's okay. What's important is you make cohort valuable to you, whether you're lurking, joining a project team, or just observing. We want this to be valuable. And some people will join cohort, join a team, work through it, and get a lot of information. Other people have different goals. So with that, I'm going to check to see if there's any other questions. Okay, so what recommendations do you have for cohort participants who are not accessing Slack? Well, unfortunately, that could be difficult because that's where the main communication for all the teams is. We don't have another secondary. However, if you create a team, what you could do is you could go out to you could type something in chat right now or during the live session, and then go out to the lounge, pick a table and say, hey, I'm going to be at this table. And that's where you can conduct your communications with your team, because the tables in the AirMeet platform are available 24/7 for the length of the cohort. So you are able to meet at those tables. You can share your screen. You can have microphones and cameras and your own individual chat. Unfortunately, you can't record those, but you can certainly meet there. We don't have another communication tool in place other than Slack. So I would highly encourage you to join the Slack workspace. If you can't do it on your work computer, then maybe you could do it on your personal computer. Yes, Scott, there are channels that are older than 90 days that were previous cohort teams. They aren't accessible because those teams are running those particular projects. So unfortunately that happens. But if you see a channel that you went, that looks interesting, it's archived, but maybe someone wants to work on that project with me again or for the first time, then create the channel, post it in #main, and see who joins you. But exactly, they're not active. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Any other comments? I don't see anything. All right. Well, if there's nothing further, I want to thank all of our participants again. If you want to come on camera and say goodbye, you can, or say hello or whatever. But I want to thank, and in order, Megan Torrance, Sean Putnam, Jeff Batt, Jason Haig, and Cecilia Fernandez for telling all of us about their projects today. We really appreciate it. I hope this has kickstart you and go, okay, I'm going to join a team, or okay, I'm going to create a team, because that's what we want to see in cohort, is that level of enthusiasm, and also to hold you a bit accountable, because if you want to be accountable, because that's always nice to do. So you'll be seeing me nudging you in Slack channel and going, hey, how's it going? What's going on? So I only do that so that it's top of mind and you go, yep, I'm going to do something today to learn xAPI or further my knowledge about xAPI. With that, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.